Alright, hi everyone, Joey V from GeekWatch here, welcoming you back to the Far Cry 3 full play. This is episode 8, the final episode of week 2 of our full play, and we are going hunting today. Today, the name of the game today is, as I was playing, after I did the story missions for the rest of this week, I got kind of, I want to say lackadaisical, and just kind of decided, hey, I should work on something a little bit more fun and try and get the hard to gather hunting animals. So today will be dedicated a lot to sharks. If you notice, I just used a syringe, and you can see me here being like, what the fuck is going on? I was supposed to use animal's instinct. Yeah. Again, I talked about it yesterday. It's just the stupid system overwrote everything. So I did not want deep dive. I wanted hunter's instinct, so I can do this. And then deadly hunter, so I do more damage to animals. So I'm gonna try and sneak up on this bad boy. Because thankfully I snuck right up on the Black Panther. Once, got it twice, 3 times, and one bam. And unfortunately, there's a leopard on top of me. I was, oh cutie. I wasn't hitting my gun triggers, so I guess I wasn't fighting back. I don't know if you... I'm sure you can fight back. Most of the animals that you can. Like, I've been tackled by bears and stuff, and I've been able to fight back, at least initially. So, yeah, that was a little crazy. A little crazy. So, after doing that, I was like, oh, I should fight... I should go, gather more leopards, and get that out of the way. So... I probably could have moved all the way up to, could have just moved north, but I decided, nah, let's not do that. Let's have some fun. So I'm just trying to figure out where to go here. I do a bunch of the animal hunting quests, and what better way to get to the spot where I last was than to fast travel back to Dr. Earnhardt's and fly there using the hang glider. So that is exactly what I'm going to be doing right now. So it's also a good time to reload everything, and sell off some stuff. I don't have too much, but $300. That's a pretty good, decent deal. Yeah, and I have to replace my guns too. So it was good to get that out of the way, because I had just come off of that mission, and I had to replace my main gun with that little pistol, and that's not at all what I want. So time to hang glide. Fun little tidbit: you can place C4 on the hang glider, and the C4 will stay there. And then you can drive the hang glider into an area, come back, pop out of it, and then explode it. That's a fun little trick. Maybe I'll try and do that at some point. So, but yeah, I'm just enjoying my little hang glide ride here. It's real nice. So yeah, it's been a very good week. I've really enjoyed the episodes for Far Cry 3 this week. And next week we have Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Undead Bunny, of the Undead Rabbit, of the Dead Rabbit, that'll be a lot of fun. So we have 4 more episodes of that coming up. February is a very busy month. Obviously there is Valentine's Day, there's going to be a new episode. There's going to be a new session for the role-playing game. There's going to be, there's a bunch of other stuff happening, at least initially. By the time that you're viewing this, Either this is going up on a Friday. This same day, the movies and video games that did not make the cut of my top 50 are going up on the site. Top 50 is going up next week early. It took a little bit longer for me to write up the blurbs for each video game. Because I have to write the blurbs up for about 10. So that's it's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. So, and this is where I realized that I'm not really in an area for lots of leopards. It just so happened to be one leopard. And there's a leopard over there. I spend a lot of time chasing after this goddamn leopard, if I remember correctly. And leopards hit like a truck, so they're so fast. I mean, we know that they're fast, I mean, obviously. But, and this thing almost kills me. And I'm sitting there, like, holding triangle, being like, come on. Man, yeah, leopards are for real. They're one of the ones that really suck to hunt because they're so freaking fast. But yeah, since I'm here, I might as well give you a little bit of a preview of my top 50. It'll be outlined in the article, but basically I talk about why I think it's important to do it, and also how difficult it was to do. I think doing a top 50 is important because you find out a lot about yourself, and you find out a lot about, and if you're reading it, you find out a lot about the person who's writing it. You find out what they value, essentially, as a person. Do they, if I were to write a article that was the top 50 video games of all time, that is a completely different list than the one that I have crafted. Same thing with movies. It's a completely different list that I've crafted, and also it's a list that I'm not qualified to make, or to be, I could be in on the discussion, but I couldn't be the only person that to make that list and say, yep, this is definitive, because I haven't played every single game or a majority of games that would give me a very strong handle and grasp on what the best games would be. So yeah, it is a very different list if I say, hey, I'm going to make a list of all time, or maybe if it was like top 50 games of a particular year, I could research, I could play, I could do this, I could do that. If I wanted to say of 2012, that'd be one thing. But doing something like that on a large scale is very, very difficult. So why the personal list? I think because, one, it forces you to, it reminds you of what you have played in the past, and I think that's important, kind of to see where you are, what you value, what you were coming from, what you feel nostalgia for, what you remember playing a lot of but don't like. A personal list will have bad games on it. It's flat out true. There will just be bad games on a list such as that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's how you feel. It's like, hey, I really liked X game, even though I know it's not good, and it will never show up on anybody else's, top 10 or whatever. It's important that you have that, because it's important to you. And the other good thing that I like about it is that when you post the list, for the purposes of Geek Watch, I think it's important to post the list, because then people can look at that list and go, ooh, read the description, read why I like it, and be like, ooh, does that sound interesting to me? Does that sound like something that I want to be, that I want to partake in? Because then you can go off and you can say, ooh, I've never played this before. I've never watched this before. I'm going to go do it, though, because that sounds interesting to me. That sounds like something I want to watch or play. So I think that's why it's important and not, you know, maybe important is a strong word, but I think that's why it's cool and it's a good practice to do, especially if you're doing it with friends. You know, you do it and you see your friend, you know, come up with X, and you're like, hey, you know, wow, I never knew that. I never knew that this person valued this movie so highly, or really thought this game was so good. Like, it's kind of nice. And I think another big thing, it's one of the more important things, is many times in life or in everything, we will say, hey, this was the greatest X of all time. And sometimes it can prove to be, you know, hyperbole. You know, you're just kind of, you're boasting, you're exaggerating. You know, you had a really good time, but when you really sit down and you start to line things up against each other, and God, this guy is so fast, and it's really difficult to catch him, especially when he's trying to go after deer. But when you start to really think about it and try and weigh games against games, you know, what you end up doing is you're eliminating the conjecture. There's no more like, oh yeah, man, that's totally in my top 5. Like, you know, no, it's, you know, maybe it's not. You know, maybe it's not even on your list. You know, maybe just at the time you were really hot to trot for it, but then when you really stop to think about it, you're like, ugh, no, I can't keep it on this list, you know. And I think that's a really cool thing to do. I think that's a really cool thing to be a part of. And finally, the fucking leopard glitches out a little bit. I'm about to shoot him, and I do, because I'm just fucking sick of him. But yeah, so game glitches, it's fine. Come on, do this. So, but yeah, so it's very interesting to me about that. And ooh, sweet, fully upgraded syringes, which is a very nice thing to have. I don't think it's absolutely vital, but it's really good to have. So that's really good. And you don't have to worry about getting better health packs, like learning better health recipes, because you can you improve that via skills. Your skill tree will be like, hey, when you use a health syringe, how much health do you get back? It'll buff itself that way. So yeah. But yeah, so I really enjoyed my time doing the top 50 lists. I know it's one of those things where, you know, it's not gonna be like one of our, I don't believe it'll be one of our, you know, great articles like, you know, Mr. Khan's disturbing movie list, or you know, our story about, you know, Edison and meeting Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston on the set of the Avengers. Like, I don't think it'll be anything like that, but it'll be a good exercise, I think, and it'll be a lot of fun to read, and it'll be a lot of fun, you know, the quote-unquote controversy that it stirs. You know, people being like, well, why is that game on there? Why is this? And why is that? Like, to me, that'll be really interesting. And, you know, I really hope that people enjoy it. I will certainly enjoy being a part of that. And I hope that you guys really like my list, and I fully encourage you, when the list is up and running, for you guys to be like, hey, I agree with this, or I totally disagree with this, or how is that not higher? Or, you know, just to be like, you know, oh, on my list, you know, this is what I feel like. Because I think it would be really fun to have, you know, my list and have a community run list as well, like a kind of like a synopsis of like, oh, well, you know, I said this week, but then you know, kind of like compile a list of like all of our fans said this for their 50 to 41, you know, and we can kind of compile this list of like all these different games, all these different movies that are our favorites. And then we have a list of stuff to be like, ooh, I think I like this. Like, that sounds interesting. I want to try that out. I want to watch that, you know. Oh, boy. Oh, man. I pissed off those guys. If you shoot or kill any of the Rakyak, they will go after you. And I can't help it, man. They were just in my way. I cannot help that they were in my way. I will face the shit out of you, but I will motherfucking kill you. So yeah, it's really interesting, and I am excited that it's going up. But yeah, today, if you're watching this early in the morning on Friday, check back Friday afternoon, check back in and see if the list is up there. It's I think you'll really enjoy it. There are some crazy things that are on the excluded list, both in video games and in movies, and maybe next week I'll talk about it on this cast, but I want to kind of let the article speak for itself. But there are some games and movies on this list that this is the list that did not make the cut, that did not make it into the top 50, that people will find very surprising, and yeah, who knows? So I think it'll be very, very interesting. So, and once again, I used the wrong syringe. I'm having syringe problems. I'm having druggy problems. But I found some dogs, so it's time to. Here's the thing: with shotguns, don't even bother aiming down the sights. Like, I know it's there as an option, but it's just not worth it. And these freaking canines are really a bitch. And look, I'm hitting it and it's just not coming through. There we go. Now remember, they're not dogs, they're rabid dogs, so it's okay for me to be doing what I'm doing. I think. Probably not. What will be happening is I will totally freaking lose track of where the fuck I am and lose track of where this last one is. Because he runs away, but then he will come back to a spot, but I can't. And you can see, like, I'm sitting here like, what do I have to do? Like, assign a slot, do this, yes. It's really annoying. Like I said, you can't hit X or on a PS3, you can't hit A on an Xbox. You have to hit, like, back when it says, hey, do you want to assign this to a slot? You have to be like, no, I do not. Thanks for asking. So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. Excited for that to go up, and then I don't know if I mentioned this during this week, but PAX East is coming up. That's the end of March 22nd through the 24th. That is a Friday through Sunday in Boston, Massachusetts. It is happening at the BCEC. It's the huge Boston Convention Center. It looks like a spaceship inside, and we are going. The Geek Watch website is going in full force, and a cool little thing that we have going, since we do a lot of charity work for Child's Play, and we've done a lot of marathons. We just finished up Mass Effect Marathon 3 this past November. We raised $26,000, and we have a lifetime. We've raised lifetime $68,500 or some ridiculous number. I think maybe like 68,000, or yeah, it's been a lot of money, and so we've raised a ton of money for charity, helping out sick kids in the hospital, and fun enough, we are going to be running a panel on how to run your very own Child's Play charity marathon event. The cool thing is that it doesn't have, we obviously, since Penny Arcade Expo and Child's Play are, go hand in hand, we obviously try and keep it to Child's Play thing, but really our advice would work on anything. It would work on any type of charity event that you were trying to run, whether it be online events or whether it be online events or in-person events. We've learned so much from the community, and just by trial and error. When we first started doing this, we didn't know anything. We just knew that we wanted to do something. We just wanted to do an event, and we learned on the fly. We learned very quickly what worked and what didn't work, and and kind of tried to put our flair on it and stuff like that. And so yeah, we're going to be running this event. We're going to be going through some of the you know, some of the basics, and also, you know, if you've never done it before, we're going to go through the basics of that. But also, you know, for people that have done this before, we're going to try and come up with some really good ideas and some suggestions on how they can really improve their game. You know, because there was a lot of things that we did the first year that we would never do again. You know, and there's stuff that we had to learn or, you know, and figure out during the second and third year that that required a lot more extra effort, you know. And I think it'll be good to talk that over and figure that out, and you know, show an entire audience about that. So I'm very excited about that, to have another panel. It is going to be on the Saturday of PAX. It's going to be 12:30, March 23rd, at the Merman Theater. We're super pumped to do that, and you know, we will be on the panel, but also in addition to that, we'll have Jamie and Kristen, who actually work at Child's Play, to be with us, and they'll, you know, if you know, for any questions that, you know, are, you know, strictly, you know, charity related, they can totally answer that, and it'll be very good. The great thing, I love doing the charity events. They make you feel really, really good inside when you see just how generous people are being, and just how much money comes in, and you get the warm and fuzzies. You feel real good about yourself, and you feel real good about, you know, the community after you do it. It's very exhausting. It's very, very exhausting. It takes so much out of me. It's essentially a second and third job to do it, but it's very rewarding. And at some point we'll do another one, but you know, we'll do it on our own terms and do a smaller event that we can feel very confident about. So you know, I don't know what that event will be yet. I don't know what that event will look like. You know, we said previously, it's like, hey, you know, we've done Mass Effect Marathon and that's it. You know, we're gonna you know, this is the last Mass Effect Marathon, and there was a lot of our fans who were very, very sad about that. And you know, I've seen other marathons say, oh yeah, this is our last one, and then they come back the next year, and that will not be the case for us, at least in terms of, like, we will not come back and do Mass Effect Marathon. Maybe if the only thing that may deter that, and I should clarify, you know, Mass Effect Marathon was always this 3-day extravaganza. It was a 3-day full marathon over Thanksgiving Day weekend. That will never happen again. And the reason why it will never happen again is because it's a lot of work. And we're just not in the right frame of mind to go about that. We want to do smaller events. We don't need to see the big numbers. That's the way I always say it. It's the way I always look at it. It's like, we don't need to see the big numbers. We love, you know, the big numbers are very impressive, and we're very happy to see them. But we feel like we can do just as, you know, do a very good job doing smaller events. And that's what we want to aim to do. We want to do smaller personal events that are just as good quality-wise, but do not require us to give up our sanity as much. You know, the hard stuff with the marathon is all done. You know, I can do that stuff in my sleep now. Setting up a stream, setting up a skin for it, the donation system, all that stuff's already ready to go. You know, website, all that. You know, I can do that in a second. You know, the thing that takes so much time is getting prizes and talking to vendors and sponsors, and, you know, trying to, you know, make it enticing for people to donate, getting the word out. Like, that's, you know, all that stuff takes so much time. And, you know, that's the stuff I would rather focus on. And I'd rather focus on doing, you know, 3 events throughout the year that are like 3 24-hour events, or 3 12-hour events, you know, or something like that, where it's like, okay, we spent a day, you know, we spent an afternoon together, we did it, we raised some money, we feel good. I'll see, you know, maybe we'll see you again in a few months. Like, that to me sounds very appetizing. That sounds very, very good to me. And that's kind of the stuff that I want to go after. So But yeah, like the only way that a Mass Effect Marathon 4 would come about would be that if they come out with Mass Effect 4, maybe we would do something where it's like okay, Mass Effect 4 takes 30 hours to complete, so we are going to take 3 Saturdays out of this month, and we're going to get together and we're going to play for 12 hours on each Saturday, and that's it. And like no like we'll promote it and everything, but no big opening dances, no big nothing like that. We found a good system of being able to improv and give away, like, hey, you want to see us sing a song, you want to see us do a dance, you want to see us be morons, like, you can still donate and make that happen. So, and what up, clearing out the entire camp while being silent. What up? And this is where I start to be like, I should go get some sharks, because I'm right next to the water. So yeah, it was so yeah, that's what we have going up in the packs. We're going to be talking about charity marathons, and at some point we'll do another one. I don't know what that may be. I was thinking for a little bit of doing perhaps a harkening back to the very first full play of perhaps doing a Dark Souls marathon. That could be really fucking crazy. I have all these crazy ideas of what I could do to to entice people, to make it so that so I could, it's like, oh, it'll be X amount of length, it'll be this, it'll be that, donate, and we'll do a crazy challenge, donate here, donate that. I've thought of a bunch of different stuff like that, so maybe it'll get around to it, maybe it won't. I don't know. There was that. I've thought of maybe doing a little bit more live events, doing something close. Oh my god, it's a shark. I'll get back to the charity stuff in a second, but here, guys, this is how you hunt sharks in this game. You can't use your knife in the water. You can't melee fight with a shark in the water. It is impossible. You can't do it. You have to wait for a shark to come up to you. You punch him in the face. Then you do a canned animation stab, and then you have to go down and go get him. And yeah, that's how you do it. And when they're falling like this, it's really difficult to skin them, because you don't know, like, okay, and I'm like almost gonna black out here. There it goes. But this is how you. Sometimes you can get lucky and kind of get up on a rock and kind of snipe them a little bit, but it's not. It doesn't work out as well because they stay pretty far away from you. Like, I could try and get him from here, but it won't work. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get him. So I'm going to have to go swim up to him. What you can do is if there's other animals, if there's other fish around there, you can try and kill them. Like, I think there's going to be a sea turtle or a stingray that comes up. Like, if you can kill them, their blood will chum the water, and then the shark will come over. But it's it's difficult because you got to kill that thing under the water, and you can't use your knife underwater. So it's like, it's just a mess. It's an absolute mess. So you gotta kind of. The only reliable way that I found is you go out there and you let them bite on you a little bit, and then you hope for the best, and you mash the crap out of whatever button prompt they tell you to. Why do you need to get sharks? Can I skip that? No, you really can't, because sharks are there to upgrade. It's the 3rd or 4th, I think it's the 3rd level. Yes, it is the 3rd level of the wallet, and it is the 3rd level of the loot sack. So you really need these guys. So yeah, they usually bite you once. That starts the blood, and you can see I'm just like, and then you do it the second time, and then you can punch them. Like I said, it's so stupid. I wish there was an easier way, but there's really not. So yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, it's not the loot sack, it's the holster. And the holster is very important. It's probably the most important thing that you'll need. It's the last level of the holster. When you get that, you'll be able to use 4 guns. And once you have 4 guns, you're good to go in this game. I feel like you can have a gun for every situation. But man, without it. There is also a named shark. I have actually not killed him yet. I have not seen him on my other playthrough. There is a hunter mission for him. I think it's really late in the game. I think there's like 2 islands, and I think most of this takes place on the North Island. I think that mission comes up on the South Island. So I don't know. It'll be crazy. So I just finished up my wallet, or not a holster, so now I need to get 2 more sharks so I can finish it, so I can beef up the wallet. And so getting the 3 sharks wasn't so bad. It's that 4th one, as always, is that last one that is ever elusive. You know, that has proven to be very difficult. So, but yeah, so that's how you do the sharks. I would just get out of the way as early as possible, and if you can get to a spot where there's a rock in the middle of the water, or the other thing that you can do is you can take one of those bigger boats, and take one of the pontoon boats, and kind of sit out in the middle of the water and shoot them from there. I wanted to do that, but I couldn't find a boat. You know, and I was here thinking about it, so I was like, oh, I'll just do this here. That's, you know. So I'm actually gonna try. What's really sad, and again, this is an annoyance that I wish, like, if you had tagged an animal, it would show up on your minimap when he's dead. I actually kill one of these sharks from long distance coming up here, and I am not able to. Yeah, this is me trying to kill a turtle, but he's so far down that you can't get to him. It's just, you know, by the time the arrow hits, it's, you know, it's lost all of its momentum. So this is me trying to get this rock. I'm trying to glitch the game, but yeah, I think I get either this guy or I get one of the next guys. Yeah, he obviously got hit because he's pissed. Oh yeah, I get this guy. That's the guy I get. I get him once. And I get him twice. He drops down and then I can't find him. Like, I don't know where he went. Like, there's a turtle there. And he's not here. Like, I don't know where he went. And it's real annoying. And yeah, so like I just couldn't find him, and I was probably being a little jittery because I did not want to. I did not have improved holding your breath, which is another talent deep in the tree. So I didn't have that, so I didn't want to mess around with that, and it's just a mess. So it's all good. I'm just gonna try and get this guy to bite me, and he definitely bites me. But the problem is, I'm going to try to get him to enact the minigame, and he does not. He just keeps biting me. Like, he just does damage, and that's really not good. Like, right now, he should come at me, but he just nicks me. And it's like, okay, I need to get more health syringes, because this is ridiculous. Like, I can't be having this. So at this point I wanted to all reset, so I think I go back in to the outpost. So yeah, annoyances doing this, definitely, but you know, definitely something that you have to do. Obviously you don't have to, it's optional, but I feel like if you're not holding 4 weapons at a time, you're doing your play experience is going to be severely dampened. 3 is good, but 4 is just perfect. You have a weapon for every single situation. You can even hold on to a rocket launcher just in case, you know, in case you want to. And towards the end of the game, you know, having a rocket launcher is actually really good, or a shotgun or something like really high armor pierce, because there are, you know, all the pirates start wearing more body armor and bulletproof vests, and there are guys that are just head to toe in heavy duty armor and it is annoying to deal with. And the best way to deal with it is either plant C4 on them and explode them, or grenades or whatnot. But you know, a rocket launcher really works, or something just high impact. So, like I said, very worthwhile. You should get that as soon as possible. So, I think I just buy a bunch of medicine. Yeah, I would normally go get green leaves, but there's not a lot of green leaves by the water. It's usually out in the middle of the wilderness, so that's okay. There's a health kit right there. The memory cards, when you pick them up, you don't get any XP for them. It's just kind of filling in the story. It's all the drug trafficking that that Voss and his men are doing. Like, all the memory cards have different formulas for different drugs on them, and how they're trying to sell them. So, well, with that, we are rapidly reaching the end of our playthrough. Thank you very much for watching all of this week. I really greatly, truly appreciate it. It really means a lot to me. I've had so much fun doing commentary for Far Cry, and you know, I think it's such a strong game, and I really hope that you watch this and are impressed, and you go, I want to try that game out. I think it's really worth. It's just really, really fantastic game, and I think almost anyone would enjoy it. So yeah, as always, leave comments down below. Check out the Geek Watch site, g33kwatch.com. Check us out on Facebook. It's facebook.com/g33kwatch, and you can follow us on Twitter at g33kwatch. Pretty simple. Oh, there you are, buddy. I'm gonna mash you in the face. You're coming with me. They look cuddly in this game when they're not alive. Ooh, you've killed a shark. Skill point. So yeah, so that's all we have for this week. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for everything. Next week is Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit. That'll be episodes 5 through 8. Lots of crazy shit going on with that. What started off as simple, 20-minute levels are now quickly going into hour-long levels. So it'll be a lot of fun to check that out. So with that, I will see you guys next week with Hell Yeah, and have a good weekend, guys.